I've gotta go to the
So maybe it's just what they have.
Be laughing, but I can just.
They have to.
That's well, Coming to Hill, moved there,
Oh, they moved it.
but Emerson stayed. Mhm. So they're in, they're at the city hall now. Getting for the. Planning meeting.
That's right.
And these got in, they got, that meeting on, so that started at 6. Like, they're still living, I mean, that started at. Yeah, and got in there.
That's it. Was it that I'm sure. We had a lot of that vendor.
Yeah.
So we will get back.
Okay. Oh.
But we do have our own reservation. So where's the, it's not from the level.
Oh, okay, well, that's good. So I'll leave that now. Well, I'll wait. Yeah.
Walking distance from the public. Sign on the way out, so you sign it, just you sign on.
Yeah, matter of fact, I know.
I did say right here.
The city official.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you forgot to. Wait.
Hey, you know, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this is-
Yeah.
It's two girls. Story. It's not just building. Ah,
That's why I said this year.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Excited, but
They're right on out of that.
it's hard, it's hard, but that's the charge for all of the, he's just walking.
Oh.
One.
Yeah.
Because she got one lady.
Yeah. My bad. My bad. You right.
I didn't. I thought he did, I jumped.
I did put right down there.
They're happy. Yeah, absolutely. Well, so we got to set it to the meeting. I don't know. She switched.
You have 7 people online?
Yeah, we have 3 online thus far. So we put it on YouTube, and so on YouTube. Everybody, ended up that senior. That's cool. And then by the end of the month. I like that. We have quite a few ones. Like this cost me one. It was 2025, in modern day. I don't know, do any of the other communities have on Zoom or live stream?
Wheeling,
We always have,
who else?
have live stream that's on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, they don't, there's one, it's all, like, probably goes, you know, watching this, that's online only, probably goes to the top.
Oh,
It's all-
yeah, that's all.
I talk about the HOAs of the.
Okay.
Yeah, now, when I first got there, I wasn't getting no. HOAs, now I'm getting. I mean, everybody comes.
That's cool. We got to do a speed down.
Oh, we the HOA, we got me. You know, I'm gonna get. People just love for you to come out. Somebody gotta run in there. Say something. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Whenever I get them. I know that I've ordered it, let's not.
I still got a whole stack. Yeah. I went there, actually, I'm going to 2 boxes. 2 boxes. They were like, oh, give me some beef. So they bought me 7 slow boxes, you bought big boxes, and somehow. That's like them. Especially when you green them, and oh, yeah. Oh, shit. You go. What is it? Yeah. No, they call us. That was the car. What it is, now we take that. Oh, okay. We sit down. Yeah. You want to see old honey. I'm trying to give you a picture. Yeah. Yeah, I saw. So you did. Yeah, sure. Say like you look. I saw your face.
Okay. So let me get.
Yeah, I know you did.
We get started this meeting, can we stand for prayer, please? Those who can stand. Father God, we come to you, I'm to know how, thank you for the moment, and thank you for allowing us to be able to return back to our meeting again. We ask that you come in and listen to this meeting and bless this meeting. These we ask in Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Welcome to our August 2025 meeting. It's good to see some wonderful, friendly faces today. So glad y'all took some time out this evening. We appreciate you. I'm just gonna quickly go over our agenda and then just make sure you sign in for me. We did our open prayer, and then I'll do a brief address. We have a minute, so code enforcement, resource officer, financial report. We have guest speakers tonight from Charleston Center and from the Department of Mental Health. And that's the Charleston County Mental Health. And we also are going to do our committee reports, old business. We're going to dispense with new business, do 2-minute announcements, adjournment and closing prayer. And we ask that for your reports to be assigned to guest speakers, be between 3 to 5 minutes. Amen. Okay, so we asked anybody want to join tonight? You give Renisha your funds, and it's $5 per month and $60 for the year. We're reminding everybody, if you can jot down some standing rules for meeting the quorum, you can email them to me or text them to me or email them to our improvement council email. Planning and zoning is asking for us to do sample homes. When we apply to be a historic district, they will give contractors sample homes, kind of look like Liberty Hill. So the look of the whole community won't be so disjointed. Even the South Carolina Preservation Office had asked us to keep our home style between 1930 and 1970. So that's kind of the projection we're going with. If you're like, I can send you a sample of what we have already, and you can kind of go from there. But like I said, this will help guide the contractors in keeping continuity in our community and to conserve our historical look. All right, we have our minutes. What we do, we email our minutes. So we just usually ask for adoption of the minutes as emailed. So for those who have read it, if you can do an adoption of the minutes, and then we'll do question and vote.
I'll make a motion that the minutes be accepted as it is.
I second.
So it's been motion, if minutes be accepted as emailed. And seconded, question? Any corrections? Additions? Vote, those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Now we have code enforcement.
Evening. Evening. For the month of July. I've written 20 letters and also had 20 field inspections. I've balanced it out a little bit more toward field inspections, trying to work with people a little bit more to help. I focused a lot of their attention on the queue, for a better term, with the Family Dollar alongside of it on the queue. That's been a mess on a regular basis, but there's a assistant manager there, her name is Eva, I don't know if I forget her last name. Wonderful woman, and she takes it with heart, and she's cleaning it on a regular basis. And so if you walk by there, you'll see it, or drive by, you'll see it's quite presentable now. Also the garden on Montague. I worked with Champagne Moses, and we've had a problem there with, they just throw trash all over the place and the furniture and all that stuff. And it's hard to control that part of it, but we raised that up to channel, and we have, she got approval to bring on another maintenance person. So you may drive by there in the morning, it could be a mess, but usually those guys do a really good job at getting it cleaned up by late morning. An incident that just happened today that I wasn't aware of, well, not an incident, but on the well coming on to East Montague, while right by the Loyal Baptist Church, when you leave that parking lot, there was no visibility getting out of East Montague. So I did not realize on the left-hand side, there's palmetto trees, overgrown, there's bushes, and then there's weeds that are right there. Ivan from the church gave me a call and asked me if I'd help him out of that, because he said he almost got an accident. So I did reach out to the owner of the property today, so hopefully that gets fixed for him. We're also looking out as well, there's a semi truck that was parked in that driveway or in the yard. Finally, that was moved this week. Luckily, the owner of that, him and I talked several times, and he did finally get it out of the yard. We have some cars that are further down the street from there that are inoperable that I'm trying to get rid of. Get them at least moved out of there, but that's a work in process, if you will. Does anybody have any questions for me? None? Okay, thank you, enjoy your meeting.
Thank you, enjoy your dinner. All right, now we have our resource officer. Dr. Cooper.
I gotta keep it straight, boys, you know what I'm saying? How's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing today? Alright. I got some flyers up here for everybody. I'll leave up here. First flyer is for Powder Puff football for girls and from middle school, 8th grade and up. I'm missing a game right now. Be here. Hopefully we win tonight, and if not, I'm gonna blame my absence. The next thing, we have a throwing more classes for any businesses, nonprofits who wanna, just some basic training as far as race. What that simply is you have like a major, like potential mass shooting and how to, whether it's like a building like this or like a church and stuff like that. Free of charge, we have our crime prevention officers, so we'll come out here. We have some more stop violence flyers up here. That being said. So the complaints I've had from last month. Maybe Ship can help me out with this, so before I ask my camera, so I kind of got a dead end on that. As far as cameras, I asked more a few questions about that. The cars at 4086 and the fireworks complaints, for the past few weeks, we've had plain officers out hit the streets in Liberty Hill in particular. On this side, as far as zone 4 and zone 5. Just some of these issues, 4886 is still something that's still pending at this time. I am working with the owner and stuff like that. And the officers who've been out there, they make constant contact, big contact those individuals out there and moving forward. Those are not supposed to be there, they've already been placed on trespass notice. And if they come back, they'll be going to jail. So that's as far as saying from what I got from last month. So that being said, any new business from for this month. Check the first time you gave me, I ain't got no complaints, I never had that before.
Good job.
I listen, but I ain't mad. I'm sure my man don't can't say nothing to me. That's you know. You got nothing for me this time? I gotta ask. I gotta ask. But as of right now, as far as I'm trying to make sure I have this right. Only really, the issue I had is just gonna be I had B&E over on 1824. East Montague Avenue, it was unsecured and paint sprayer was taken and stolen and of a vehicle at 1544 East Montague Avenue. Those are the two crimes that I had that far reported. Again, with B&E autos, those are side to side with person crimes. Every time we have a shooting, you catch a shooter, those guns and stuff are taken, they're always taken from vehicles that are left unsecured. Please block vehicles, and I stress this enough. I myself have been starting to move some of these electronic signs throughout the city. If there is an uptick in crimes near for property crimes, I will remove some of these electric signs down here. That's why I don't have anything down here, because I only have one. As far as these crimes, some of the other areas, unfortunately, be getting hit a little bit harder down here. Doesn't mean it can't happen here, so please block your vehicle, do not leave firearms in there, any weapons of any kind. That goes for officers too. If that officer in the past, leave their guns in the car, they get taken just as much as anybody else. So we're under the same microscope. So I want to get back to that powder puff. I cannot stress enough. That's been a really good program. I just so happen to be a two-time championship coach. I'll slide that in there, defending my championship again this year. With that being said, your colleges are starting to offer scholarships. And powder puff is a great way to levy some of these girls to get some of this free money out here. This past season, we have quite a few of my students able to get some of the scholarships as they're going on to other colleges. So I cannot stress enough. If you know any girls from 8th grade and above, if they want to play for any coach, that's good. If they want to play for someone to win, come holler at me. Always have room. If transportation is the issue for the most part, at least on my team, it's like 5, 6 of those cops on one team. The purpose of that is if I'm busy with something, somebody else can kind of fill and vice versa. And more times than not, we do provide transportation if it's necessary, as long as we have to talk with their parents. So if it's just a transportation issue, if that's the reason why they can't play, come see us. Again, we're trying to come up with more ways to continue to have something. As far as the boys go, obviously football in high schools and middle school always show the competition. But in the winter time, looks like we'll be having a winter league, and that's something I'm trying to spare for this season. And I'm trying to expand the ages up into senior and high school as well. So those kids who couldn't make the varsity or whatever, unfortunately, and the families who don't want to pay those AAU fees, this is going to be a free league. That's something we're in the process of trying to figure out right now. So, I've heard complaints in the past that we don't have stuff off for kids. I've heard these complaints, and we're starting to really put these programs out here. It's probably most of you heard me talk about these programs, but it's because it works. Coaches passed 2 teams this past summer for the boys. If you not work, we might see these boys working from about fight after every game to them pick each other up, me not have to say anything to them. Those are young, they can't do the life lessons. This is discipline, this is teamwork, this is stuff that we need in our everyday lives, whether they're in sports, go to trade, military, whatever they want to do. These are things that can directly affect them in a positive manner. So I cannot employ you. The information is on the flyer to see Sergeant Cox or Bennett. I still work very close with them as well. So y'all know me here well enough. I'll talk about a program for more than 2 minutes. It's probably because I know something. Please. Especially the girls. Like, tell them to come out. You have Murphy County starting to participate. Johns Island is starting to participate. You have Blue Street starting to participate. Somerville is starting to participate. So it's not just no longer a North Charleston program. This is a program we're expanding very much in other counties. So if you live here and you're east or whoever lives somewhere else, and they go to different school, that's not an excuse. They can still play for free. Free equipment, free jerseys, free opportunity to win the ring. If they're good, they're going to take me. I can ask this and that, I'm always rooting. So don't make that odds. Listen. I need number 3. I need number 3 for sure. So that's what I pretty much have. for this moment. Any questions or concerns at this time?
So it's called Powder Puff.
Yes,
And
powder puff.
where do you have these games or these practices?
The practices are based on the team. So I can't speak on the other teams, but the most important team, we practice twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we try to schedule it to, at a minimum, to 6 o'clock, 6:30. We try to push out that because parents have work and stuff like that too. The games are either gonna be 6:30 or 7:30. At Northwoods Middle off Northside Drive. Twice a week, those are the games you're gonna
North side, middle?
be. Or Northside Drive,
Is that,
Northwoods Middle.
information on the flyer?
Not all the information on the flyer, but that's just me giving out the information.
Oh.
But if you reach out to any one of those two fine gentlemen on the flyer, they'll get more information. I'm just trying to make it easy so if people have some questions, I can answer some of them for kids at that point. Again, free equipment, do not go out of pocket outside of maybe cleats. That's literally it. We even provide the mouthpieces. And when I tell you these girls compete, this is not something telling them to play, it's not something to play. These girls are competitive. I played ball up until high school. These girls play. It's not no just simple, they go, no, these girls we fight, So that if you fight over these at these field, I'm telling you, they really play hard.
So basically, right.
Please bring it. No, for sure. You can't play my team, you can't bring it. I'm telling you right now.
And what are the ages?
From 8th grade in middle school up to senior year. And if they're a senior, please let us know and we will do our very best. Even if they can't get the scholarships to us, we'll make sure we'll find them something.
Okay.
So that is always an option too. So we're really trying our best to, help the kids out. Here we are. So,
Thank you so much.
sorry about that. Any questions or concerns for me? Listen, I bet she's people out here at these games, man. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, if you got the flyers,
Your contact information?
Contact information for those games gonna be round up with flyers right over there.
and we'll duplicate the flyers.
That's for sure.
And put it on our.
Okay. But if you have a girl that's really good, I'll give you my phone number. You can go like that with it.
You will be the coach.
Listen, I need one more person on that D line. One more. If I get one more girl on that D line, we run. And so, you please keep those flyers, please. And I'm coming in next month, the same day I'm gonna fly. So this is a league. When I say this, it's not no 1 or 2 weeks. This is we really run this like a league. You have playoffs. You have like AFC championship, NFC championship, you have a Super Bowl. And when we do the Super Bowl, not just in the middle school, we run out from the stadium. Either we go to Charleston Southern, or we take our now we have District 4 stadium, we take that. This is a legit league. When I tell people this is not no just, yeah, no, this we really run like this. So I don't want to hear, oh, this just no, we're not playing games. So the girls take it serious, we take it serious too.
So we'll send it on email because we have like 285.
For sure, yes, I'm telling you,
And
man.
we'll do all that.
I'll see girl out here, look 14 above.
All right, thank you so much.
All
All right, our financial report. The treasurer, are you online?
Yes, good evening. Hi, this is Ancetha Mitchell, the treasurer via Zoom. Our ending balance on July 17th was $2,057.80. Today's balance is $1,558.95. All the expenses were for office supplies. Any questions?
Repeat that again, please.
Sure.
Just speak up a little.
July 17th, the ending balance was $2,057.80. Today balance is $1,558.95. And the expenses were for office supplies.
Office. Okay.
And also you can still send your dues. Cash App. And Valerie will collect them tonight for me. So I'm unable to make it. I'm still caring for my elderly mother who's here from Atlanta, Georgia. She had 2 strokes, so I'm here with her.
You want to give them the cash app for me?
Sure. I love it because normally when I get it, and as soon as I get it, something comes through on this phone. course, I never have it memorized. And the Cash App is $ LHICDUES, which is dues, 1871. Again, our Cash App for the Liberty Hills Improvement Council dues is $ LHICDUES 1871. Y'all have a good evening. Text me or email me if you have any other questions.
Thank you. We'll be praying for your mother.
Thank you.
Okay, our guest speakers, just to kind of give you a little insight. Sure. Oh, I'm sorry.
Good evening, everyone. I'm gonna probably be the shortest speaker you ever had tonight. A date I want to remind everyone that, on August the 28th at 7 o'clock, the city council meeting that's going to be held at the chambers. The mayor's actually gonna move it to, what is it called, North Charleston Sports Complex, the old Danny Jones. We're actually gonna start taking council meetings to the community. And so we're gonna start in the central area, which will be on the 28th at 7 p.m. And then we'll travel from there to different other areas. So I wanted to remind you of that. As far as major updates, we'll wait. There's some information that's coming up very soon pertaining to Durant Avenue, the whole flyover. There's some information that's coming out to pertaining to that. Other than that, I brought y'all some gifts tonight. I didn't realize all of it. We're gonna have this room full of people. And so I came bearing gifts since I hadn't been here in a while. Renisha, you helped me out a little bit. The desk up here is exempted. Here's a phone, for your cell phone. Their case, their stand, you can actually put on your desk. And so you all are exempted. No, not on that side. Stop that. You all can actually come and get, you all help me out, right? And something like that. And if you don't get one, no, don't get one. Y'all watch them to make sure they can hand them out back there. Yeah, they're for yourself, or for your cell phone. Okay, you can have that. I got some more. Who didn't get? Oh, okay. I didn't realize how many folks from you get. Yeah. Anybody else? Watch you now. Yeah, go, keep going, go. I'm watching you. That's everybody? All right. Let's demonstrate. There you go. Show them how to use it. There you go. Show them. There it is. It's very complete. Everybody good? Yeah, she's doing it right here. All right, watch. Okay. And all it does is fit right in the groove. And it helps you with your cell phone. All that works.
Thank you.
No problem. You have a bag. That's a lunch bag.
Thanks.
Y'all have a good night. I got another meeting.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Okay, so Charleston County, and Grove, she set this up for us, and you have the Paulson Center with Mr. Don Afar and Department of Mental Health, that is Playbook. Yes, and they will be doing a presentation for us. Because our communities, we're lacking in that area of knowledge on what to do when we have a mental health patient. Because sometimes they walk the street, not on their meds, they don't even have meds to take, or they're just on some type of substance or something like that. So if you can enlighten us on what we need to do, who we need to contact, and whatever systems in place, you're wonderful. So now we turn it over to the Charleston Center and the Department of Mental Health.
Everybody, good evening. My name is Dennis Bubba, and I am from the Charleston Dorchester Mental Health Center. Yeah, come on. There's some flyers and stuff over here. I just gotta fortunately take my phones with me.
Okay, thank you so much.
I can come up here. No, please.
Yeah, there. Thank y'all. And everybody signed in, don't forget to sign in.
So I'm from the Charleston Dorchester Mental Health Center. We're located at 2100 Charlie Hall Boulevard. We are I guess a full service mental health center. Okay, so you mentioned about some of maybe our own sheltered folks or some of the folks out in the community who may be experiencing some type of mental health episode, maybe a mental health crisis. I'm gonna start probably from our more non-emergent sort of referrals to our center, and then I'll build up to what would be sort of a crisis response for anybody in our community in our catchment area. So Charleston Dorchester is open from 8:30 to 5 p.m. We take walk-ins, so think of it like a regular medical appointment. If you feel you're experiencing any type of mental health issues and you wanna schedule an appointment and see a counselor, you can walk into our center anytime up until 3 o'clock, Monday through Friday. You can call and make an appointment, and there's some flyers and stuff back there explaining all the services that we have at our clinic on Charlie Hall Boulevard. Everything from addressing anxiety, depression, there could be some issues going on at the home, with a child, family member, or friend, a neighbor, whatever the case may be. They can simply call and make an appointment, or like I said, they could walk in. Expect to have an intake that will take up to maybe about an hour and a half. And then from there, our center is capable of providing a whole array of different type of counseling techniques, medication management. We have vocational programs. We can help a patient navigate for any type of housing or any other resources in the community. I want to be clear, we are not a housing agency. But we can, we partner with a lot of agencies in the community, and we can kind of help anybody sort of navigate, which is a very complicated system when it comes to housing and stuff like that. From there, we have several different programs that respond to different types of emergencies. So we have a mobile crisis team that is available 24/7, 365 days a year. And they can respond to any community mental health crisis emergencies in the community, among people's homes. We are a co-responding type of response, so that means that we will come out with law enforcement. No one is in trouble, nobody is going to be under arrest. They are our supports and we're their supports. All the law enforcement, whether it's North Charleston, Charleston PD, the sheriff's office, I can go into Dorchester County, they are all trained for mental health interventions. So they're great partners of ours, but it will be a co-response. And then from there, we can make an assessment and then come up with a plan. And that plan could simply be safety planning to keep somebody home. It could be taking somebody to the hospital to see a doctor and to sort of be engaged in a higher level of care. Right, we have a call center. We have 2 call centers. The first one is 988, and if you're not familiar with 988, this is our suicide hotline. Okay, so about 2 years ago, they were able to change what was a few different numbers and kind of consolidate it into a 3-digit number. So it's 988, just like 911. You can call that 24/7, 365. It is confidential. You'll get a counselor on the other end, and they could sort of address anything that someone is experiencing around any type of suicide, any type of mental health. It's a good starting place, and it's available 24/7. The other call center that we have is our mobile crisis call center, and both of these are statewide, so we cover the entire state. They're located here locally. The mobile crisis call center supports our mobile crisis team after hours. So again, there's availability every single day for any type of emergencies. We have clinicians that are embedded at all of our law enforcement. So here in North Charleston, we have a clinician that's embedded there. So any type of community outreach with law enforcement, that same co-responder type of model, we're available to do that and sort of intervene. And it's really like preventative work. So rather than have something escalate or have them encounter law enforcement, maybe get arrested, maybe go over to the detention center. Usually that's not the best place for a lot of our folks that are experiencing any type of mental health episode. It really is about connecting them to the professionals and getting them the help that they need. However, if you make it over into our detention center, we have an entire mental health team that's embedded at the detention center. So anybody that is sort of brought into the detention center, they are going to see mental health if they're in need of any type of mental health care. So we're kind of spread out pretty much all around. But again, most importantly, that if there's anything going on and you need to get into our clinic, please do. Again, you can walk in, you can call for an appointment. There's a whole bunch of flyers back there. The last thing I want to talk about is we're big on diversion at mental health. So, we want to try to keep folks out of the hospital the best that we can. We want to keep people out of the detention center the best that we can. Especially those that are experiencing any type of mental health or mental health and substance use sort of crisis. So we have an unsheltered outreach team. So this is for a lot of our folks that are experiencing homelessness or at risk of being homeless. You were mentioning, some of the folks that are kind of walking around in our community. But we do have an outreach team. We're very visible out in North Charleston and Charleston area. And this is not necessarily emergency response, but again, you can call our clinic, ask for the unsheltered outreach team, and we need to kind of get out here. But they also do a lot of outreach on the road. So throughout the week, we have scheduled times that are out in different parts of the community. We're embedded at the Hope Center, which is in downtown Charleston. We are embedded at the Navigation Center, which is also in downtown Charleston. As I mentioned, we have both at the Sheriff's Office and the North Charleston PD. We have clinicians that are embedded there. Those clinicians also are trained as victim of crime sort of clinicians. So God forbid, if you ever encounter either family member, friend, or yourself, and you're a victim of crime, through your local law enforcement, you can get connected to those services. And then the last is our Crisis Stabilization Center. This is actually here in North Charleston at the Teddy Pryor Building. It's part of the embedded at the Charleston Center, which John will talk about in a little bit. This is an alternative as a diversion to going to the hospital or even going to a detention center, even getting arrested by law enforcement. So that place is open 24/7. It's a 10-bed facility. It's co-ed. It's a voluntary admission program. So it's folks that, are in crisis. Maybe they encounter law enforcement, maybe they encounter our mobile crisis team. It's sort of a go-between of they don't necessarily need to be hospitalized, but they definitely need more service than say our outpatient team can provide. And so the crisis stabilization is a good fit for them. They can go there for a few days, get back on their medications, see a doctor, see a nurse, get a meal, have a place to kind of get off the street for a little bit, sort of recharge their batteries, and then we connect them back to our outpatient services at Charlie Ball Boulevard.
What do you call that service? Again,
It's the Crisis Stabilization Center. So it's the Tri-County Stabilization Center. It's at 3685, yes, 3685 Rivers Avenue. It's in that new Teddy Pryor building.
Charleston Center.
Where the Charleston Center is located, yes. But again, call our clinic. We can, if we can get you to the right place that you just want to just keep it that simple and just call. We're not only there to help, we can actually, we can help, right, regardless of what's going on, so.
Where's the Hope Center downtown?
But I have to look up for it. I've been making it up, but, it's meeting, the divine meeting, yes.
It's right by where the old shelter is to be at. I think it's 1509 Walnut Street. Yeah, coming from the back.
And that's a separate agency. We just partner with them a lot on a lot of different projects. Yes, sir.
Your mobile crisis hotline number.
So that is 843 414 Yes, and that's an after hour one. During the day, you just call our main number and I can give you that. That is 843 852-4100. And then there you would just ask for mobile crisis and mobile transfer agent.
Anyone can call if they see somebody have an episode.
Absolutely. Yeah, and what you can expect is that we're gonna have a conversation, we're gonna ask some questions about what's going on, there are certain. Criteria that meets the threshold for us to come out and respond. And if it's a citizen calling about another citizen and there's some concerns. We'll have a conversation about what's the best way to get that addressed, like we need to know sort of where they are. Can't be, it's difficult for us to kind of come out and if we just have like a sort of last, well, you was here just 15 minutes ago. So we really need a location, will typically involve law enforcement, again, not to arrest or get them in trouble. But they'll usually are the first ones sometimes to respond and then they'll give us a call. So you can still call law enforcement here, again, you're not looking to get that person in trouble, they'll loop in mobile crisis and then we'll go out and respond.
When they do the walk-ins, do they have to have certain documents, like maybe ID or social security card?
Sure, so I think an ID is fine, any type of insurance information. If someone doesn't have insurance, we have folks who can kind of help out with entitlements. I'm not saying you're not gonna get a bill, but we also are, sensitive towards. Someone's financial situation, we're really there to provide the mental health, so whether you get a sliding scale bill, which is a more reduced thing for the services that we're gonna provide. But we see a lot of folks in crisis and, it's about addressing the crisis and then we can get to the insurance stuff and all that afterwards. But walking into our appointment, those are probably two of the best things to have. Any type of medication that maybe somebody's taking too, we have psychiatrists and stuff. Who can provide and provide some medication management if needed. So anything like that would be helpful.
What if a person is not really, have a mental problem, they just want to talk to somebody?
Same thing, so yeah, so we have, depending on what's going on with them, if they have some questions, they can call our mobile crisis team, we provide resources, we provide, community information. We can have a conversation and just kind of see what's going on with them and kind of figure out what's the best route for them to, receive the help they're asking for. Yes,
Would this include, say like if I know. Or I feel that my neighbor is having, a sort of dementia episode, would that include that?
well, that's more of a medical, I think we would be willing to have the conversation, and I think if we can tease out that. It's probably more of a medical thing, places like MUSC. Has a really good support service for that, but we would probably encourage you to go through your medical provider or primary care physician. Or making your way over to the hospital for that. But if they're also experiencing some other risky behaviors, I think it's worth a call to mobile crisis, so we can at least. Kind of walk you through and get a little more information and see if we can help.
Something that could be harming themselves or somebody else, right?
Yes, so and the other thing, even too, like we'll see young adults, even some children who are sort of on the spectrum or maybe autistic, and again. The way that sort of presents when you're in the midst of a crisis could look like it's mental health and it really isn't, and so again. Having our folks who are trained in all that to sort of tease out sort of what is happening at any type of crisis intervention that we're doing is important.
So when in doubt, just call anyway, get advice.
Yes. Yeah, that's what we're here for. So there's no back call. So please, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. And there's a bunch of flyers here, so please help us out. There's brochures on the center and everything.
Good evening, everyone. How are you? I want those.
Yeah.
I'm John Apgar. I'm a program manager with the Charleston Center, which is Charleston County's drug and alcohol treatment provider. We are located right down the road across from the old Naval Hospital, 3685 Rivers Avenue. The vast majority of our program is contained there. We offer just about every kind of drug and alcohol treatment under the sun. We have 3 residential programs in the building. We have a 16-bed program for women only who can bring with them 2 children under the age of 5. We have childcare for that, and I'll get to that shortly. We have a 16-bed co-ed program, and we have a 16-bed program for withdrawal management. That's the new term for detoxification. So in one floor, we have 48 different beds. We're open 24/7 with a residential on our withdrawal management program, serving people locally as well as all over the state. We also offer a variety of outpatient programming. We have women-only outpatient, co-ed outpatient, adolescent outpatient, and we provide outpatient services as well for those who have been convicted of a DUI. At any given time, we have like 500 people in our outpatient programs for any one of a variety of reasons. Folks are usually in, and that could be intensive outpatient, which is up to 9 hours, more than 9 hours a week. Can be less than that. Could be, we do group services, individual services, a combination of both. In some instances, when we have folks who are unable to get there, we could possibly do even telehealth. That's a sort of a case by case basis. In addition, we offer medication assisted treatment. That is what was for the longest time just known as methadone. But we offer 9 different medications right now on site. We serve hundreds of people every day coming into the facility for their medication. And that we're very fortunate that we're all in the same building because our folks who are taking medication, they can also, they can be taking their medication while they're in a residential program, while in withdrawal management, while they're in our outpatient. We'll coordinate services around whatever they're doing, whatever medication they need. In addition to that, we offer community prevention services. Those are our team that's out and about in the community, at the schools, coming to places like this, doing different events, doing health fairs, things along those lines, getting information out to the community, teaching them about what to look for, what not to look for, what just different information about substances, what people may or may not know, certain behaviors to look for, what resources are available. So that team is very active out and about everywhere. We also offer peer support services. That is our staff who have lived experience with drug and alcohol issues. They kind of saddle up next to our patients and kind of ride along with them. Different than a counselor, because they're people with actual lived experience, and then we'll support folks through what can be a very difficult time. Not a lot of folks are looking forward to going to treatment. And this is a way to get someone who's been there with them and kind of encourage them and kind of keep that ball moving in a good direction. We have a 64-bed unit over at the jail as well. Not a place we want to get to, but we offer services in the jail. We have a unit for men that we can fill up to 64 men in there. And we're also now providing services for women as well. We can serve up to 12 women in the jail. So and those folks, when they leave the jail program, they get 8 free sessions at our main site. So if they get out of jail, they've done our program, which is about a 16-week program. They come to us, they get the first 8 times they come, it's, we're not billing insurance, we're not billing anybody, it's just no cost. It is encouraging people to come. And it's amazing how many people unfortunately don't take advantage of that. But I always like to share that we would want them to get engaged. And the last thing we do is we have the child care, as I mentioned on site. It's DSS licensed child care. So if mom, very often throughout the state, moms can't come. I have kids to take care of. I can't, well, 2 children under the age of 5 can come with mom. And we will provide licensed child care during the day while mom's participating in residential drug treatment during the rest of the day. And in addition, even our folks in outpatient programming, if they're in our outpatient services, those moms, if they're there for a group for 2 hours, they can take advantage of that service as well. We're in the process of becoming an AAPC voucher program, which will help even more moms be taken advantage of. I have worked in this line of work for 30 years, and I've never seen a facility that has everything like we have under one step. I think we're very fortunate to have it where we are, and very accessible to folks.
How long is this program going on?
Which one?
With all the different beds.
Well, okay, so if you're the women, the program for women only, could be 30, could be 60, could be 90. It's unfortunately, everything's very insurance driven. But the more issues and illness, and that mom might present with, the longer her stay is gonna be when we take the opportunity to address those things. The co-ed 30-day program, it's about 30 days long. And our withdrawal management all depends upon the substance they're coming off of. Alcohol, buprenorphine might be 6-7 days, others might be 2 or 3. Yes, sir.
I know you said it was insurance driven. You don't have any indigent beds?
Our withdrawal management has some state funded indigent beds. So we will help folks take advantage of that. We don't have any indigent beds for the residential, but what we do in that situation is we work with folks to make sure we can get them into the program in Harrisburg, I come from Pennsylvania still, in Columbia that has indigent beds. We will see them for outpatient, take care of them, help that referral along and make sure they get to that bed.
Including transportation?
We'll do our best to help them coordinate that. We'll do, our role is we don't want there to be any barrier to treatment. So if we can find a way to get in there, we're gonna go ahead and do that. I mean, I spend half my day figuring out different situations, how we can best serve somebody, because not everything falls into this nice, easy way to be dealt with, and we'll do everything we can to get them there. I can't guarantee it, but we're gonna do everything we can to do it.
All right.
How full is your program? I mean, do you have a waiting list or,
No, we are
capacity
open,
now?
we are not at capacity, we, 843-958-3300 is our number, call it anytime, you can, if you're interested in the residential. Or other services, we're open 8:30 to 5, Monday through Friday, you can walk in at any time. And we will see you, we'll get an appointment, we will assess the person that needs to be assessed. If it's a residential situation, we can begin to coordinate what that might look like if they meet that level of care, not everyone meets that level of care. But yes, 843-958-3300, you can call, we'll give you all the information you need. I also have some pamphlets in the back that you can take advantage of. But all day, every day, we're here.
Can you accept Medicare and Medicaid?
Medicaid, not Medicare. Medicaid. And for those that don't have insurance, our rule of thumb is payment will not be a barrier. We don't do sliding scale. What we'll do is we'll establish payment plans that are ridiculously fair. That, I mean, we have, if I recall, we had one guy's paid like $5 a month for the last 10 years. It's payment's not going to be a barrier to get somebody in. We're going to eliminate that possibility. Yes.
All right, the payment would be after treatment, when you start the treatment first?
What do you mean?
Like if somebody came to you, to the Charleston Center.
Yes.
In need of treatment, services, right? And you said you got a payment scale, right?
So what we would do, sir, is they would come in, we would do a financial assessment at intake. We would figure all that out, so they might start getting billed, but the bill would take into consideration what that financial assessment indicated. A payment plan will be set up from the start.
Yeah, I run across a lot of people.
And if I'll give you my card, I'll give you my information. If you have any issues, you can call me directly and we'll figure it out. Any questions?
The last name again is Apgar.
Apgar. A is in apple, P is in Paul, G is in Gary, A is in apple, R is in Ron.
Thank you so much. It's
Thank you.
wonderful.
Happy to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, services out there that we can tap into. I didn't know they had a bed unit over there. Actually, tired stuff. Okay, let's move on. We have our committee reports. We ask to keep the 2 to 5 minutes with questions and answers. Beautification committee, any report?
Good evening. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I don't see any next generation yet, but Sister Esther acts. Next generation to help clean up, I think it's called Lewis Avenue, back there by Grant Cemetery. So I went back with you guys, we cleaned that whole, I guess you call it roadway, the right of way. So, cause she's having to come in next week, toward Liberty Hill and some other areas in North Charles. She wanted to apply that, that was done. I think that's all I have right now.
I'm probably next gonna use the time if I'm
I'm sorry.
I'll be a representative for you. Wonderful, okay. Well, we thank you for doing that, because I know that's important to clean up all the different areas, so let's give them a hand for doing that.
No, not really, I'm just, for the political, action, just. Everybody's watching the news, everybody's paying attention, I guess, to the newspaper, and you see what is going on. And it is real, so before you know it, midterms will be coming up. If it's not affecting you in any type of way, I know it's affecting somebody in your family or close friend. Everything that's going on, so just be mindful of who you put in the seat. Voting is imperative, it is, you have to vote. Those that did not vote, and they said that is just like. You voted for the opposite side, and they're feeling it. So if you receive any type of assistance, like SNAP. I mean, it's in real time, he's not playing at all. So, again, midterms will be soon, what, next year? Next year, so, just be, proactive.
Yeah, for their redistricting, for that reason,
Yes.
try to get ahead of the game, so. And everybody just register to vote, we have forms that we can register you, your family members, so don't hesitate to let us know. Thank you. Historical Society.
On after.
You going after? Oh, okay, so she got to switch, okay. Reunion Group,
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I'm here from the reunion group. And I'm here to just, I guess, let everybody know that we are having a reunion this year. We're happy about that. That's gonna be in September on the 19th and 20th. I appreciate that. And we're on the 19th, we're gonna have Praise in the Park, and that's gonna be from 6:30 to 8:30. We're gonna try to have a couple groups out to come and just help us have some praise in the park. We're gonna have 3 or 4 speakers from Liberty Hill. And they're gonna come with a sermonette and maybe a song if that's how they feel. But we're gonna come out on September 19th, praise in the park, and we're gonna try to have a very, very good time. And then on the 20th, we're gonna come in the morning and do our documentary. It's titled Unpolished Jewel. So that's gonna be from 10 o'clock till 11 o'clock, and the Historical and Genealogical Society will present that. Okay, and then later on, we're gonna have our closeout picnic. And that's gonna be from 12 to 5. We're gonna have food trucks, jump castles, vendors, and more. We're gonna have music, food, and fun. And we're also adding something to our reunion week. And I will let Ms. Carmen tell you about that.
thank you so much. Any questions for Regina? Yeah. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
What I want to talk about is that. Just like this. Yeah. And this is the. What I want to talk about is September 17th, next month, Wednesday at 11 o'clock. We'll be dedicating a marker in the name of my grandfather, Louis Joseph. I don't know whether many of you know about the Louis tenement. Louis tenement came about because in 1901, my grandfather came to this country from Damascus. He was a Christian. During that time, the Christian and the Muslim was fighting. So he wanted a better life. So he came here in this country, sponsored by, some people know them by as Shade, some people know them by Shaheed, but actually we raised up knowing them as Shade. They had a department store downtown on King Street. So when my grandfather came into this country, they lived in a home downtown where all the Syrians live. And I forgot to tell you, my grandfather was Syrian. So in this country, having nothing but the clothes on his back, Shade department store supplied merchandise, goods, furniture, and stuff like that. So my grandfather, what he did, he created different things from Shades, and he went around in different communities selling it. Somehow he stumbled up on Liberty Hill, and thank God he did, because I probably wouldn't be here today if he didn't. So after finding Liberty Hill, which at that time was surrounded by, which now is with us being in the center, even though we had mom and pop stores, but some of the merchandise and stuff that we required, needed, acquired, we didn't have. So my grandfather would go around and he would take orders from different people. He would go back to Shades, fulfill the orders, come back and sell it to the people in the community. I think all that is in here know how Liberty Hill came about in 1871 with the fulfillment. Ishmael Grant, Aaron Middleton, Kennedy and William LeCue. They were the founders of Liberty Hill. In 1875, that's when they started deeding out properties. From 1871 to 1875, it was nothing but wooded area. Also, let me let you know that everybody that lives on Liberty Hill now migrated from somewhere. No one on Liberty Hill, original Liberty Hillian. Me. Liberty Hill was nothing but wooded area until in 1875 when he started conveying property to folks that came from Hemingway, Sumter, all the surrounding area for a better way of living also too. We had the paper mill, we had asbestos, we had the navy yard, so they came both. All right. During that time, my grandfather and my grandmother, which was Rachel Nesbitt. My grandmother came from a prominent family, the Nesbitt family. My grandfather rented a room for my grandmother. Once he rented a room for my grandmother, started selling, made money, started buying property. My grandmother also had a store along with my grandfather. This map here I'm showing you is the map of Liberty Hill in 1877. This map here is Liberty Hill today. This is, if you look at this map and look at this map here, this map starts here. How I know that is because this is Liberty, this is the school where Academic Magnum is at now. Kennedy LeCue has owned this property here. Kennedy LeCue had sold 10 acres of land to my grandfather, my great-grandfather. My family, in return, deeded the property to the school. This is where Liberty Hill and Bounds Wilson Bounds Wilson High School and Liberty Hill Elementary School was located right here. The same place right here where Academic Magnet and Bounds Wilson was at. So if you turn the map around, it would fit in there, but not exactly, because you can see this property is done with cut up in all sorts of small lots. All because you had to deed right-of-way easement, roadway and stuff in there. I say all that to say this, that my grandfather bought property. This is, you probably can't see it now, but if you pass it around, this is the tenement right here. We had but 14, 15 houses in it, right there in the tenement. That sits somewhere over here, where Aaron Middleton had owned this property over here. Okay. Because this property has been in my family ever since the 1900s. And we had these homes. One afternoon, years ago, a gentleman came to my house looking for Louis Tenement. Someone told him to come and see me. Then I started thinking, well, if he doesn't know where Louis Tenement is, there may be other people that is coming back to Liberty Hill looking for the tenement too, that raised in Liberty Hill. So then I started doing the research on Liberty Hill. Ever since in the 70s, I started researching Liberty Hill. What I wanted to do, I wanted to put up a marker to honor my grandparents. So what I did, we were able to get a marker that is going to be dedicated to my grandparents on September the 17th next month. The section, for those who don't know where it's at, the section is on the corner of Lou Ella and Lester Street. Right now, public houses are there. The reason the public housing is there is because back in the 70s, late 70s, or early 80s, Mirabone and Steve Gonzalez and James Gonzalez, the city attorney, they wanted to build public houses. That's when it was coming to the forefront. They went on Dorchester Road first. The people ran them out of Dorchester Road because they didn't want public housing next to the subdivision. So, of course, where are you going? You're coming to the black section. So they came in Liberty Hill, and every section that a vacant land was at, they acquired that. Some of them sold, we did not. They had to take us to court and take it by eminent domain. Because I recall my grandmother told me how she had to get on her knees and scrub the other people's floor so that we can have. And it hurts me today that people right wrong in the community are just selling their property. You know, and they don't know what their ancestors had to do and how hard they work for them to have something. You know. So I say that to say this, that I am going to honor my grandparents with this marker. And everyone else that is listening on Zoom, please, before you sell your property, talk to someone from the Liberty Hill Improvement Council. Talk to someone from the Historical Genealogical Society. I don't think that our ancestors intend for Liberty Hill to be like how Liberty Hill is now.
Right.
You know, we had love,
Right.
we had respect for one another, and we need that back. We bringing in folks we don't know nothing about. We don't know 5 years from now. Liberty Hill might not even be Liberty Hill. So I'm telling everyone that is here tonight. And I'm inviting everyone who wants to come out next month on the 17th at 11 o'clock to help me honor my grandparents with these homes. I know I took too long, but I get carried away when I talk about Liberty Hill. Because for those who raised and born in Liberty Hill, you know the love that we had for one another. You could go to the next store, borrow a cup of sugar. I don't know how our ancestors made it off a cup of sugar, a cup of flour, but they did. One person got sick, everybody in the community rallied around that person. If that mother couldn't cook or whatever, the next door neighbor, someone down the street would fix food and take it to that house. In village. So y'all, I get carried away when I talk about Liberty Hill, but there's an open invitation to anyone that wants to come out next month. Also, to one other thing I want to talk about. We're working on the historical registry. I know you've heard we're working on it. But it's a 3 to 5 year process. You can't do that overnight. If you want to be right and it pertaining to research, you don't want to say anything and then Columbia say, well, this is not what we research. So you got to be accurate about whatever you do. So just have patience with us. We 3 years in, hopefully it won't take 5 years, but we will keep you informed soon as we get the word that, hey, we got it. Y'all will be the first to know. And thank y'all. I appreciate it. And if anything that the Historical Society can do for you, please let us know.
Okay, thank you. And that will lead us into our old business, which we will talk about gentrification and the zoning process for the local historic district. The Historical and Genealogical Society is working on the national registry part of it. And we as the Improvement Council is working on the local designation, because a lot of times you need that to help protect what we already have nationally and protect the historical district recognition. We have Ms. Madison Lee from Charleston Preservation Office, and she will also enlighten us on some things about what historical district means and also the protection of with the overlays. But first, before we do that, I would like for Donna McQueen to give us a definition of gentrification. Is that okay?
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I'm sure most of you, and I have to look down at this computer, so forgive me. I'm sure most of you have heard the term gentrification. Gentrification is occurring all over the US, everywhere. And it's something that happens that is changing communities. Now, I'm going to give you a definition for gentrification, and then I'm going to give you a second one. Gentrification is a process of neighborhood change where higher income and higher educated residents move into a historically marginalized neighborhood, causing housing costs to rise, and it causes a physical transformation of the neighborhood, which results in displacement of residents in the community. And it's a change that occurs pretty rapidly. Then I'm going to give you this other definition. And after that, I'm just going to talk to you about it. Gentrification is when a neighborhood changes because wealthier people and new businesses move in. This process often makes the neighborhood more expensive. It can also change who lives there and what kind of businesses are available. It can make a neighborhood more valuable, but it may cause some people to move away because housing and living costs in the neighborhood have gone up. That second definition was one that I found that was meant for children. But that second definition really says it all. Gentrification is something, when you look at neighborhoods, and it generally happens in minority communities that have been overlooked. And then all of a sudden, you're under a big microscope. Everyone's running around and looking at you. Because the one thing we haven't, I think they only do in Dubai, where they do it, where they have money and they do it with the ocean, where they make land over there. We can't look into their land over here. It is what it is. So now you'll look at a community, investors and are constantly looking for places where the home values are low, that they can get into, they can flood money into it. And then that, and build structures that will force the taxes to go up and causes people to be displaced when they can't keep up with it. Some people will be able to keep up with it and stay in their homes, but a lot of people will not. And so you wonder, well, why Liberty Hill? Look at Liberty Hill. You got Park Circle on one end and all of the development on Nixon. On the other end, you have City Hall and all of the development there. Liberty Hill is all of a sudden perfect, perfectly situated, perfectly low income homes. Some homes are more valuable than others. That makes it an attractive place to buy. When that starts to happen, then a lot of things get factored into place to try to make that change happen. If you don't try to do anything about it, then you will look up and land will be purchased, like Conde was referring to. Land will be purchased, and once that happens, then the value of the surrounding lands go up. And when people are displaced in this economy, what they generally find out is that the money that they have gotten for the property, they can't afford to move anywhere else. Or they may find that they have to move further and further away from where they live, trying to find land that is cheaper. And then there's the cultural significance of the neighborhood, the connections and the bonds that Conde is talking about. All of those things are lost. So gentrification also has some benefits for cities, because if you've got more expensive properties, you generate more tax revenue. More tax revenue can get more things done. But gentrification is that very process where investors and real estate owners, they go kind of shopping for the properties that are located in a place like Liberty Hill. Perfect location, close, and you've got the new hospital going in. What is that, 3 miles away from here? People who will be working at the hospital, this would be a good place for them to live. So it is, Liberty Hill is so beautifully situated that there's no wonder that investors are now targeting it. And the cities and when the city looks to decide what they're going to improve, they take a number of things into consideration. But it is that very process that, if not properly protected and managed, then the neighborhood will rapidly change in terms of value, and it will be gone. So when you hear gentrification, you think about the fact that you have now investors who are willing to invest large sums of money in, intending to make a profit so that they can then impact the way that land is valued in your community and then turn that land over. And then many of the residents will end up losing their home. I'm not saying all will, but some will. And so that is a problem in places all over this country, why some communities are disappearing. And that's one of the things that I know the Improvement Council was working on, a plan to try to slow that down, so that the community can stay intact. So that's a crash course in what gentrification is.
Thank you so much. And that's why we want to help to create a local historic district to protect Liberty Hill, to preserve Liberty Hill, to conserve Liberty Hill. So we will be here in perpetuity, our name and the 112 acres, because they can carve off part of Liberty Hill and name it something else and take it away. So, but we want the whole 112 acres our ancestors fought for, and scrub floors for, dig ditches for. They actually built all these homes in the beginning with their bare hands and their own supplies. And we want to maintain that. You know, that was blood, sweat, and tears that was put in. And so, I think that they allow us to be here to fight for it. So that's what we want to do. And with that, we have to have protection, and that's the historical, conservation, business, and even low-income housing overlays, zoning overlays. And with that said, if we have Madison Lee, she's with Charleston Preservation Society, and she can explain a little bit about those protections and how important they are for Liberty Hill. Thank you.
I'm Madison Lee. I'm the community outreach coordinator from the Preservation Society of Charleston. I know that you guys have been looking at getting some additional character protections for your neighborhood. Zoning overlays are a great way to do that. They don't change the zoning as far as if something's residential or business. It's just something that provides an extra layer of protection. In North Charleston right now, there is the Conservation District and Historic District in the old North Charleston neighborhood in Park Circle. That's already in use. The difference between those two is really that a Conservation District is more general. It's talking about protections towards things like setbacks, there's demolition review, tree coverage, lot size, things of that nature, whereas the historic district is going to be a little bit more like amped up version of that, where you're talking about more architectural elements like roof lines, characteristics of your house, how many stories your house is. So, you know, if you live in a neighborhood where you're all 1.5 stories, and your neighbor wants to add, you know, maybe 2 stories to their house, or a Camelback addition, which is, you know, kind of taking a 1-story house and adding basically a giant house in the back. That's something that we see a lot of things downtown. That can start to kind of change the character of the neighborhood. You know, if everything's 1 story and you're having all massive additions popping up, or people are taking vacant lots and just putting up new construction that isn't really compatible with the existing character, these protections really can help kind of keep everything in more cohesive and compatible to what's already been there historically. It's really an effort that's usually led by the community in collaboration with the planning staff. And it's really neat because these zoning overlays can really be informed by the community. You guys have the power to tell them really what you want to see, what you don't want to see, when it comes to what regulations are put into place. One thing that some communities have done is a demolition delay. So, you know, if somebody is wanting to demolish a historic home from, you know, the 1930s or 1940s, 1950s, there could be a stopgap where there can be some research done, and, you know, maybe even some prevention of that demolition. So that, you know, you don't look back in 10 years and, you know, Liberty Hill's gone and it's all new construction. And that's really what, these zoning overlays are put in place to protect. I did put some handouts in the back corner, about conservation districts and historic district overlays, as well as some of my business cards. So if you don't have any questions today, if you want to reach back out, if you think of anything, my contact information is back there. I know that that's kind of like a general overview. I didn't know if anybody had any specific questions about zoning overlays or character protections.
One question that comes to mind for me is, I don't know how involved you've been with the council. I used to come to these meetings quite often years ago, and I was trying to come again. So I'm a little, I just need to be brought up to speed. Is there any obstacles that you can identify or anyone else who can identify that are getting in the way of such overlays, or?
It's really working with your city staff, city planning staff, and sometimes that's not an easy process to navigate. They, you know, they might ask of certain requirements they would like to see in community buy-in, from residents, so making sure that the whole community is on the same page. So if not everyone's on the same page, or if people have reservations, that can be an obstacle. But, you know, if there's, you know, a big desire for it, everybody wants it. It should be a pretty smooth process, but it's always navigating different municipalities. You can hit some obstacles for sure.
So is this sort of been presented already, and are there obstacles that have been publicly discussed or shared?
Right now, we're in the process of getting together information that they're asking for, which we did not know that they needed.
The city.
Right, the city, well, 'cause we started in this project 2022 when we asked about being a local historic district. They never gave us a process. Then when they gave us the process in May of the year, they never gave us everything that we needed for them to follow through. So now we're getting bits and pieces, little by little, so I'm not understanding if that's a staffing problem. That they don't know the whole process, or they're creating a process. But I know back in 2008, the old village had gotten their historic district. I think March 10th, they started it, and by April 24th, they got the final vote. So when I investigated it, they said, well, Old Village had all their information together and they gave it to them, but of course they were preempted on what to give. So now that we're getting bits and pieces and we're working with Historical Society, they have some of the data. We have a architect certifying the properties. You know, if they want to know the style of houses and the properties that's there, then we will comply with whatever they need, but we just need to know what they need. And that's been the slow process.
So good folks like yourself help in that process. Is, I don't want to use the word mediation, but are you, do you help, you know, I guess I have those bottlenecks a little bit, or it's kind of.
As the Preservation Society, we act as an advocacy organization, so we have reached out on Liberty Hill's behalf with city planning staff to see, you know, where the roadblocks are, and we have not had much communication, unfortunately. So, you know, that is something that we try to do, and we try to do it in West Ashley. We're kind of in the process of doing the same thing over there, and are having similar kind of obstacles with their council members and getting their city staff on board. So it is one of those things where it's like some neighborhoods get preferential treatment over others, and it's unfortunate. But you know, the most you can do is just keep trying and we'll keep emailing until we get answers and keep calling.
The question. Does it have anything to do with, what's the last time a survey has been done on Liberty Hill? I mean, as far as land surveys.
Well, I believe, Ms. Joy, you're working with Brittany Lavelle Tula on that National Register District nomination. Is that something that Liberty Hill Genealogical Society is?
Yeah.
Yes, so that process in itself includes somewhat of a survey. I believe Brittany, I spoke to her recently and she said that the survey was near completion. And that survey, that process can actually help inform district overlays at a local level. So whatever they're doing at the national level will help bolster what you're doing at the local level. So that process is, I believe, ongoing.
This is the 3-5 year process. Talking about. Okay, yeah, okay.
And keep in mind too, but Liberty Hill is already qualified. We're 154 years. I'm using
Because it's qualified, especially with it being 160.
54, we're 154. You only have to be 50 years of community to qualify to put in.
So that's where the preferential treatment comes in. But then still yet with the 3-5 years process too.
Well,
Yes, I get.
we're talking about two different things.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, this is
what
global,
she's-
this is global, that's national.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
what she's saying is that the work that we doing
Can help.
can help them.
Yeah.
Okay, but they have to do their background work too. You see,
Yeah, so the background work at the local, on the local level. Maybe I missed something because I had to go outside, I had to go to this asset. So maybe I missed some information while y'all were talking about what the local level is responsible to do.
So from what I understand, they had asked us to do ordinances. But we're not licensed planners. We don't know ordinances. Even the council said they don't know ordinances. That has to go through the planning and zoning department. They're not, shouldn't ask us.
So is the planning and zoning department gonna show you how to do it?
They're working, so when I talked to Mr. Tim McCall last week, he said they're working on it, but they need to know the style of the homes, certified styles. So being that we hired, I think it's Brittany, through the Historical Society. I referred them to Sister McFadden to let them know the styles of the homes that we have. Because most of our homes are from 1930 to 1970. But there's still names and certain styles that has to be documented.
So they don't know, the planning department don't know.
They have some information that they already did back in the 90s, but he said that's outdated. And so he needs a more updated list.
So, but he needs to know whom.
He needs it from a certified architect, somebody certified. I can't certify it. No one on this board can certify it.
Certified locally, certified
Just
state,
the-
certified nationally.
Certify the type of houses that are in the.
True. But when you look at your 1930s to 1970s, are you talking about black architect? Are you talking about Caucasian architect? Are you talking about, because from 1930, my grandmother's house was built in 40s. Now, there was a house that was built not too far from here in the 70s that is very different. So the style, I mean, everything is ambiguous. And we will continue to hear ambiguity until they pass the R2 for the zoning, which now takes away from what we're trying to do here as far as for preservation of our different styles and homes. So which put.
So it's a blend, so if they certify your grandmother's house and they certify another house from 1970, so now you got the identification of that 1930 house, 1940 house, 50 house, 1960 house of different styles, whether it's prairie or cottage style or mid-century modern, whatever it is, then you have to document that. That's in your community, but it has to be done by a certified architect.
See, that information has to be approved with everything by Columbia. See,
each style of home, you have to document like now we say, you have to document it to show what it is. You got the list, you got the damn. They're not going by word of mouth. They're not going by somebody from somewhere.
Yes.
So you have to have someone certified to say, this was built, that they use this type of wood, or whatever the case would be. You have to have that, you know. Once you get that, that's what the survey is talking about. So then they also wanna hold meetings out there to find out how the people feel about it. You know, they don't know how the people feel, they don't know whether the people want an overlay, you know? So it takes all that into consideration.
All that is just delaying. So that some other things can be planned behind closed doors.
I disagree, I disagree with that because you have guidelines to go by, you know.
Well, I get what you're saying, but still, just like how when she went back to them and they said, well, oh, we gotta tell you about this, oh, this, the case. It sounds like overall, we're gonna have to have legal folks who have the knowledge more than us to get involved.
Well, let me say this to you. Do you know if they have a guideline to go by?
Well,
See, that's the first thing.
there you go.
So right now, they don't have a guideline to go by. Only thing that they know is that the old North Charleston has an overlay. Old North Charleston and Liberty Hill is two different communities. So you can go by Old North Charleston overlay.
Well, that's true, but then with those who have already got that historical preservation already given to them, right?
Who
Then they can go.
who got the historical preservation?
Old Village and.
Old Village.
That's what I'm saying, but you can't go by the
They had a
village
process.
because it's not,
They had a
it's a difference.
They had a process. So what they told us is, and we had to pull, I think Donna went and found the minutes of the process. And I think, even Madison pulled some of the regulations from the actual zoning ordinance of the process. And that's why she was calling to get confirmation, and they never called her back of the process. Donna, even when she investigated the process, that's when we went back to Tim and said, okay, what is the process? And he said, oh, fill out the application for zoning, rezoning. And I was like, that's not rezoning, this is an overlay, it's not gonna be rezoning, we wanna be a new historic district. It's just a protection. So, but we did what he asked, we filled out the application, paid out $75. And this was over a month and a half or so.
So how come you can't get a guideline?
Because they don't want us to have it.
Okay, so how, what are we going to do?
I don't know if we need legal help. I think what we need political pressure. And we need this conversation to not be held in just this room. And it needs to be, they respond to political pressure. And the public needs to know, the public beyond the 112 acres of Liberty Hill needs to know the shadiness and the racism that is taking place in our city. And that's how Mount Pleasant got the protections that they got when they was fighting those developers, because they had something that was public and that was a campaign and that put public pressure, a political pressure, because they can change the laws whenever they want. So we can have a lawyer look at their laws, they can write a new ordinance and write a new process, and that is the law.
Start doing gerrymandering.
But what we need is political pressure.
So from here, what are we going to do? Now that we know what they're doing, now that we see what they're doing.
Give us some suggestions, go ahead. Yes.
Political pressure.
That's why.
I just want to say, so there was a lot of folks that came in here in this meeting tonight that I thought was mental health, all kinds of folks. The city planning group is sort of the group in question here. Do they come regularly? And if they don't, then why not? And can they be invited for the next weekend? And can they be asked to come regularly?
They were scheduled to come this meeting, and that's why Madison came.
Oh.
And they canceled.
Okay.
Well, we know that a lot takes
Does that
place.
happen often? Are they often, do they have?
This is the first time that he said he was going.
Oh,
But we know that a lot of things happen in the city planning because. Case in point. Way back when the fair used to be held on Dorchester Road. Well, when did we know that the fair was moving to Latson? That had already been coordinated behind closed door by the city planners. So then, what I'm trying to suggest is that, since if they're not coming here, why aren't we attending those different city planning meetings to hear what's going on? To bring it back to us, or to email it up to us so that we have our heads up on what's going on.
Well, that's what I
we
was
do-
gonna say, when you mentioned about the fair moving from Dorchester Road, I remember that. And I remember it moving to the last, and I was going to say to you, no one attend meetings, so that's what I'm being helped. But if you go to these meetings, you have to go to this meeting in order to be abreast of what's going on within the city, not only your community, but within the city, because if it affects another community, eventually it's gonna affect yours. But I agree with you, unless you have somebody to go to these meetings.
Do you get, the agendas from the planning, city and planning?
Yeah, you can go on the site and get it, and put for the next.
So they don't.
They're usually the
do they
second, I
send
think
to
they're
you?
usually the
And
second.
Do they send you?
What's the second? Of every, no, they don't send anything to me, that's part of the problem, and even the head of the planning and zoning. That they're not doing their due diligence to send it out to the communities and community presidents, and when they meet and what they're meeting, yes, ma'am.
Don't they print that in the newspapers?
The
Zoning
planning, the planning and zoning meeting, not that I know, of. Usually it's on the website. And we have to go on the website. I've attended some, but we need to have everybody maybe rotate and attend. But it's usually the second, I think, Monday of every month. At about 5.
Maybe you need to tell them that you want a weekly.
I did,
agenda.
I did, and I put my
Maybe you
name
need
down.
to lag them like a net.
They said they don't have the staff to do it, they were putting it on one person who's not even in the planning, the zoning part. And we didn't think that was fair, so.
Let me say this. They have a neighborhood council meeting. I think it's the first.
She represents us at the.
And those type of things are not, this have to say.
No, mine.
No. Coming back. He's coming back. Okay. So, yeah, so Renisha represents us at the neighborhood planning meeting. And she said they don't discuss those things. So maybe we can get them here and so we discuss. Then I had talked to them before one time. Yeah, I did. And I told them that we would be coming to present. So yeah, so we need to come up with a strategy. I know we have an alliance meeting where the nonprofit organizations get together and start planning. I will put this on our agenda to work on that. A lot of times we are very sensitive of the mayor that we have, and we don't want to make him look a certain way. So I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there what I got in my face, slapped in my face. So at the end of the day, we just have to be respectful. And still do it diplomatically and in a legal fashion. So bring your ideas, you can email us, it's the LH Improvement Council at gmail.com. LH for Liberty Hill Improvement Council at gmail.com. And give your suggestions and I'll take it to the alliance meetings. Or you can text it to
COUNCIF.
CIF.
Oh, COUNCIF.
CIF.
The same people that you put it on, the same people that you voted for, is the ones that you go to and have them to work, it's good work.
I agree, but then keep in mind, they're not aligned with what we want.
But
we had a meeting with one of our
they
county
may not be
council.
aligned. What we want, but they have the know-how on how to go about doing it.
Well, put all, put all that in your suggestions so where I can bring it to the alliance and we can work on that together.
Is there such a thing as, well, here we go again with the same thing? Going door to door and getting that, we call that list where everybody signs it and put that more than 100 signatures.
Yeah, we're working on that. Some of the groups are working to schedule that. We've tried to schedule a couple of times. It was a conflict, different people's schedules. So we're working on taking the surveys as well as, petitions, yes. Yeah. So anybody who want to volunteer, please.
I'll do it.
Text me that you will volunteer for that. So I have a documentation of it. Anybody else? My number is 843.
Oh, what, go door to door?
Yes, ma'am. 843. That's what I'm saying. So, you know, it takes a team. One person can't do it. It takes a whole team. 843-452-0248. So text me your suggestions, text me that if you want to volunteer to go door to door, we'll appreciate it. Because it's gonna take all of our groups and all of us to make this happen. Okay, there's no I in team, and we got that one dream, and that's to protect Liberty Hill and preserve Liberty Hill. We need to do it.
And by going door to door, upon us doing that, any one of us who decide to go, whatever have you. That's gonna be an education process too, I can understand.
Yes, ma'am.
There are gonna be people that don't even know what we're talking about, so I know that's gonna take a little time to try to, educate, but they really need to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And especially if you still live in Liberty.
Right, because we presented this 12 times already. How many of y'all really know what's going on? We presented it 12 times at different meetings, different venues, town halls.
Madison's been here several
And we
times.
still, huh? That's what we said.
Madison's been here several
Yeah,
times.
Madison, that's the Charleston president, and we still not sure what it is. Like Mr. Darby told us the other day, when he asked the leaders what it is, and leaders couldn't even tell him, some of the leaders. So he said, do your research. Once we put it out there, we explain what it is. And if you're not understanding, and you're not sure what questions to ask, go back and do your research. Then call people who you know that's in other planning departments or even our planning. And ask them questions. It's okay. They're your leaders too.
Can Darby come to a meeting?
I can ask him. I can ask him. He lives in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can ask him, see what he says. Okay. Okay. Well, I thank everybody.
I got some flyers to give out.
Oh, yeah, also, yeah.
Hi, I'm going to talk to Community Research Action Board. We run an air monitoring network. We're having a meeting on September the 10th. It's gonna be held at Gussie Green Community Center. All right, we rotate these meetings. We rotate these meetings throughout Liberty Hill, at the beach, Port Cherokee, Union Heights, that block, 5 Mile, you got one. We rotate these meetings and we're inviting you to come out. My name is Najima Washington. All right, thank you. I will be very brief. Please come out to learn more about the air monitoring that we're doing in the neighborhoods and learn about the purple air monitors, which are residential, very small monitors we're trying to get distributed throughout our neighborhoods to determine what's going on in the air. It measures a very small measurement of pollution called PM 2.5, all right? And there's information on the bottom of the flyer. My phone number is there, my email address is there. If you want to get more information specifically, please see me and leave your email address. And I can make sure that I send more information to you about that event. Okay, so it'll be Wednesday, September the 10th. Thank you.
And I'll put this in our email, and I usually post it on our Facebook page. Everybody subscribe to our Facebook page. Liberty Hill Reunion and Liberty Hill.
I'll make sure you get relevant copies of that, okay?
Okay, oh, that's good. Thank you so much.
Mary.
Any other announcements?
Yeah, I need to, oh,
community announcement?
Councilman's not here, huh? Give us an update on the streetscape.
Oh, yeah, Brandon's not here.
He's not here.
Yes.
He's the only one who can do that.
Yes, ma'am. He has not sent us a copy of that. When they first worked on it, he did. But I'll probably have to contact Adam McConnell and see. So Adam was one of the initial people working on it.
And about those houses that are planning on being constructed by the cemetery and that property, that piece of property.
That's the redevelopment group. I'm not privy to that information, but I can sure relay that to them and see if they, will convey any of that. I'm not sure. I don't, that's in transition. Any other announcements? I have the town hall meeting they're having Saturday, August the 30th. They're having their words do a state of the city, preserving Liberty Hill and ongoing growth. Law enforcement gonna be there. District updates with I think Dion Tedder and Courtney Waters. The police chief is gonna be there. Councilman Brandon Hudson, Dr. Jermaine Palmer Roberts, Dr. Marvell Ford for Community Health and Family, and Dr. Lisa Brown for mental health. So they're having a town hall Saturday, August 30th, sponsored by Next Generation. And it's gonna be a rollback from the church. I don't know if it's gonna be at the gym or it's gonna be at Fellowship Hall. At the Fellowship Hall. Alexa. Okay. So yeah, marking calendars for that. Any other event announcements, community announcements? Nope.
Wait, you said that meeting was?
August the 30th, Saturday, from 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m.
Where is it?
It's the Life Center at Royal Baptist Church.
Oh, okay.
That's the gym. That's the gym. Yeah, and I'll put this flyer in our email too, and on our Facebook page. I try not to overlap, because we try to have at least one event every month to engage the community, bring the community out. So I try not to overlap one meeting after another, so I'll put it out after we have our improvement council meeting, that way you don't get confused, oh, what meeting is that? So you'll come out to the improvement council meeting. And then all the flyers here, y'all welcome to take it, will at least leave me one copy to copy and put it out email, and then some of the mental health stuff in the back. Thank y'all so much, we appreciate your time and appreciate your comments and input. Y'all have a blessed night, and we'll go get it.
Oh, to myself. Father God, we thank you for this hour. We thank you for allowing us to come to this meeting. Father God, we ask that you bless the meeting. We ask that you bless our sick and shed and those who may be going through bereavement. And bless those who are online also, Father God. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. No dues tonight, no one's making us. All right.